Hello everyone and welcome back to MicroVerse. In today's video, we're going to learn about the contribution of scientists to the field of microbiology. These scientists laid the foundation of modern microbiology through their discoveries and inventions, helping us understand microorganisms, prevent diseases, and develop life-saving treatments. By the end of this lesson, you'll know the major contributions of Antonie van Leeuwenhoek, Francesco Redi, Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, Joseph Lister, Robert Koch, and Alexander Fleming. So, let's get started. 1. Antonie van Leeuwenhoek, 1612 to 1723. Antonie van Leeuwenhoek is known as the father of microbiology because he was the first person to observe living microorganisms. He designed powerful single-lens microscopes capable of magnifying objects up to about 300 times. Using these microscopes, he observed bacteria, protozoa, sperm cells, red blood cells, and many other microscopic structures. He called these tiny living organisms animalcules. His observations marked the beginning of microbiology and opened the door to studying the invisible world of microorganisms. Major contributions. Father of microbiology. First to observe living microorganisms. Developed powerful single-lens microscopes. Introduced the study of microscopic life. 2. Francesco Redi, 1626 to 1697. Francesco Redi was an Italian physician and scientist who challenged the theory of spontaneous generation, which claimed that living organisms could arise from non-living matter. He conducted his famous meat experiment using 3 jars containing meat. 1 jar was left open, 1 was sealed, 1 was covered with gauze. Maggots appeared only in the open jar where flies could lay eggs. This proved that maggots came from flies, not from the meat itself. His experiment provided the first scientific evidence against spontaneous generation. Major contributions. Disproved spontaneous generation for larger organisms. Introduced controlled experiments in biology. Laid the foundation for experimental microbiology. 3. Edward Jenner, 1749 to 1823. Edward Jenner is known as the father of immunology because he developed the world's first successful vaccine. He observed that milkmaids infected with cowpox rarely developed smallpox. To test this idea, Jenner inoculated an 8-year-old boy named James Phipps with material from cowpox lesions. Later, when exposed to smallpox, the boy did not develop the disease. This experiment led to the development of the first vaccine and marked the beginning of immunization. Major contributions. Father of immunology. Developed the first successful vaccine against smallpox. Introduced the concept of vaccination. Saved millions of lives through immunization. 4. Louis Pasteur, 1822 to 1895. Louis Pasteur is one of the greatest scientists in microbiology. He disproved spontaneous generation using the famous Swanwick flask experiment, proving that microorganisms originate from existing microorganisms present in the environment. He proposed the germ theory of disease, showing that microorganisms are responsible for many infectious diseases. Pasteur also developed the process of pasteurization, which involves heating liquids such as milk to kill harmful microorganisms without affecting quality. He developed vaccines against rabies and anthrax, making a significant contribution to preventive medicine. Major contributions. Disproved spontaneous generation. Established the germ theory of disease. Developed pasteurization. Developed vaccines for rabies and anthrax. Father of modern microbiology. 5. Joseph Lister, 1827 to 1912. Joseph Lister is known as the father of antiseptic surgery. He applied Louis Pasteur's ideas about microorganisms to surgery and introduced the use of carbolic acid, phenol, to sterilize surgical instruments, wounds, and operating rooms. His antiseptic techniques greatly reduced postoperative infections and deaths, revolutionizing modern surgery. Major contributions. Father of antiseptic surgery. Introduced antiseptic techniques in surgery. Used carbolic acid to prevent infections. Improved surgical safety worldwide. 6. Robert Koch, 1843 to 1910. Robert Koch is known as the father of medical microbiology. He developed Koch's postulates, a set of principles used to prove that a specific microorganism causes a specific disease. He identified the bacteria responsible for anthrax, tuberculosis, cholera. His work established the scientific basis for identifying disease-causing microorganisms. Major contributions. Father of medical microbiology. Developed Koch's postulates. Identified the causative organisms of anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera. Advanced disease diagnosis and medical microbiology. 7. Alexander Fleming, 1881 to 1955. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928. He noticed that a mold called Penicillium notatum prevented the growth of bacteria on a culture plate. This accidental discovery led to the development of the first antibiotic, revolutionizing medicine and saving millions of lives from bacterial infections. Major contributions. Discovered penicillin. Introduced the first antibiotic. Revolutionized the treatment of bacterial diseases. Opened the era of modern antibiotics. Summary. Let's quickly revise. Antonie van Leeuwenhoek, father of microbiology. First to observe microorganisms. Francesco Redi disproved spontaneous generation through the meat experiment. Edward Jenner, father of immunology, developed the first smallpox vaccine. Louis Pasteur, germ theory of disease. Pasteurization, Swanwick flask experiment, vaccines. Joseph Lister, father of antiseptic surgery, introduced antiseptic surgical techniques. Robert Koch, father of medical microbiology, developed Koch's postulates and identified disease-causing bacteria. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, the first antibiotic. Conclusion. The discoveries of these scientists transformed microbiology from simple observation into one of the most important branches of modern science. Their work continues to influence medicine, healthcare, biotechnology, and scientific research today. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to MicroVerse. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming microbiology lessons. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning and keep exploring the amazing world of microbiology.